Welcome to our defense briefing show. I'm your host Liang Jun. Today, we're diving into some intriguing headlines. First up, former President Donald Trump's recent news conference has been put under the microscope, revealing a slew of false and misleading claims. From inflated crowd sizes to debunked border statistics, Trump's statements are raising eyebrows and fact-checkers are working overtime. Next, we mourn the loss of Jacques Lewis, the last known surviving French soldier from the D-Day landings. At 105 years old, Lewis leaves behind a legacy of bravery and dedication, having played a crucial role in the success of the Normandy invasion. Finally, NASA is in a bit of a quandary over how to bring two astronauts back from the International Space Station. With Boeing's Starliner facing issues, the space agency is considering whether to bring the astronauts home now or wait for SpaceX next year. It's a high-stakes decision with safety and logistics on the line. Please stay tuned for the detailed stories. Yahoo US in his first news conference since Kamala Harris became the Democratic nominee for president. Former President Donald Trump made several false and misleading claims. He boasted about crowd sizes, comparing his January 6, 2020 speech to Martin Luther King Jr. as I Had Dreamed speech, but the National Park Service estimated 250 attendees for King, compared to at least 10. Trump falsely claimed no one was killed on January 6, despite five deaths including Ashley Babbitt and Officer Brian Sicknick. He also erroneously asserted that the presidency was taken from Joe Biden, although Kamala Harris won the nomination through a legitimate Democratic National Committee process. On the economy, Trump suggested inflation wouldn't have occurred under his administration. But many factors, including supply chain disruptions and Russia's invasion of Ukraine, contributed to inflation. His claim of 20 million people crossing the border under Biden Harris was unsubstantiated, with actual figures from U.S. Customs and Border Protection showing 7 million encounters and not individuals. Yahoo U.S. Republicans, including GOP vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance, have scrutinized Minnesota Gov. Tim Walz's military record now that he is Kamala Harris's running mate. Walz, who served in the Army National Guard, faced criticism from Vance for retiring before his unit's deployment to Iraq. Vance questioned Walz's statements about carrying weapons of war, although Walz never served in combat. Walz's campaign defended his 24 years of service and his role in training others. Walz enlisted in the Nebraska National Guard in 1980 and transferred to the Minnesota National Guard in 1990. Serving in various roles, he deployed to Italy in 2003 to support Operation Enduring Freedom and retired in 2005 to run for Congress. His unit was alerted for Iraq deployment 2 months after his retirement, leading to accusations of avoiding deployment. Walz's retirement rank was Master Sergeant Faintal, not Command Sergeant Major, due to incomplete coursework. Vance served in the Marine Corps from 2003 to 2007, including a deployment to Iraq. CNN Minnesota Gov. Tim Walz, a newly selected Democratic vice presidential candidate, is under scrutiny for his military service record. Critics, including Republican rivals, J.D. Vance accused Walz of misleading statements about seeing combat. Similar accusations arose during Walz's 2006 congressional run, where he was criticized for implying service in Iraq or Afghanistan, although he served in Italy. Walz responded to these accusations, clarifying his service record and emphasizing his 24 years in the National Guard. His campaign materials in 2006 highlighted his military service, leading to pushback and accusations of swift voting. Walz accurately described his service in interviews, stating he served in Italy during Operation Enduring Freedom. Despite criticism, Walz maintained his integrity, responding to accusations and defending his record. Supporters, including former unit members, praised his service and candidacy. Walz emphasized the importance of honesty and respect for veterans, calling out partisan attacks on his military record. NY Times. Jacques Lewis, a revered French veteran who bravely landed with U.S. forces at Normandy on D-Day in 1944, passed away at the age of 105 in Paris. His death was announced by President Emmanuel Macron's office. Lewis, a member of the Free French Forces, played a crucial role as a liaison officer with the U.S. Army 70th Tank Battalion. His fluency in English and military experience made him indispensable in guiding troops past German positions to aid the U-101 Street and 80 Tuato airborne divisions. In a poignant moment just weeks before his death, Lewis insisted on attending a D-Day anniversary ceremony in his wheelchair to greet Presidents Biden and Macron, a testament to his enduring dedication in spirit. South China Morning Post China's recent diplomatic successes, such as mediating between Iran and Saudi Arabia and facilitating unity among Palestinian factions, highlight its growing role as a global peacemaker. Unlike other great powers, China's lack of a colonial past and its humanitarian military operations bolster its image of impartiality. In the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, China has maintained an elegant balance, abstaining from UN votes against Russia while providing no military aid to Moscow. As the war drags on, Ukraine may increasingly look to China for mediation, especially given Beijing's potential to host peace talks and contribute to post-war reconstruction. China's involvement in these conflicts underscores its commitment to responsible global leadership, despite the inherent challenges and responsibilities. Yahoo USNS faces a dilemma over how and when to bring astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams back from the International Space Station after their mission aboard Boeing's Starliner capsule encountered multiple issues. Despite Boeing's confidence in the spacecraft, NASA remains divided due to unresolved thruster malfunctions. While the astronauts are safe with ample supplies, NASA may opt to return them via SpaceX next year, extending their missions significantly. This situation underscores the importance of having multiple, reliable spacecraft providers, as NASA aims to maintain its schedule of alternating crewed missions between SpaceX and Boeing until the station's retirement in 2030. Boeing, despite setbacks and financial losses, remains committed to proving Starliner's capabilities and resolving its technical issues. Yahoo US. The political landscape in Michigan's 10th congressional district is set to witness a rematch between Metro James R. and Democrat Carl Marlina, who previously vied for the seat in 2020. Marlina, a former judge, emerged victorious in the Democratic primary against three contenders, securing 49 of the vote. James, a freshman lawmaker, ran unopposed in the GOP primary, reflecting on the emotional toll of primaries. Marlina expressed relief at their conclusion and emphasized his non-aggressive campaign approach. The district, characterized as leaning Republican by the Cook Political Report, remains a battleground with both parties eager to secure control. James, who likens the race to a tight sports game at halftime, stresses the importance of voter engagement, while Marlina aims to capitalize on his judicial retirement for better campaign organization and fundraising. Both candidates focus on community safety, economic issues, and border security, with Marlina also advocating for abortion rights and conservation efforts. Yahoo US. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has addressed the Ukrainian military's advance into Russia's Kursk region, asserting that Russia must face the consequences of its actions, while not detailing the fighting. Zelensky emphasized the pursuit of peace under just conditions. Mikhailo Podolyak, an advisor to Zelensky, Zelensky, highlighted the international community's calm and objective response, underscoring Ukraine's right to defend against aggression. The European Union affirmed Ukraine's right to counterattack. Podolyak noted that Ukraine's actions aim to strengthen its negotiating position and demonstrate Russia's vulnerability. Despite Russian President Vladimir Putin's claims of significant Ukrainian losses, these assertions remain unverified. Zelensky, updated by Commander-in-Chief Volodymyr Zelensky, emphasized the productive results of the military operations. Zelensky's social media post from the staging area near Sumy hints at the ongoing consolidation of Ukrainian positions in Kursk, signaling a continued strategic push. Foreign policy: the Middle East is bracing for potential escalation as airlines cancel flights to major cities in Iran, Israel, and Lebanon. This tension follows Israel's assassination of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran during Iran's presidential inauguration, a move seen as a deliberate humiliation. Iran, having abandoned its strategic patience after repeated Israeli provocations, now faces pressure to respond without escalating into full-scale war. Middle East expert Rita Parsi notes Iran's dilemma in retaliating effectively while avoiding a broader conflict. The assassination coinciding with the rise of new Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian complicates efforts to restore you. Iran diplomacy, meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's actions suggest a desire to provoke further conflict, potentially to distract from domestic issues or to address perceived threats from Hezbollah. The EU response, particularly from Vice President Kamala Harris, indicates a shift in tone and substance, urging Israel to take the deal and possibly signaling a new approach to Middle East diplomacy. Deutsche Welle reports that Ukraine's recent incursion into Russia's Kursk region has intensified, with about 10 Ukrainian troops crossing the border on August 6, supported by tanks and armored vehicles. The operation, condemned by Russian President Vladimir Putin as a large-scale provocation, has prompted Russia to engage reserves to thwart the advance. Kyiv residents have expressed pride and support for the incursion, seeing it as a way to make Russia feel the consequences of its aggression. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky emphasized the need for Russia to understand the impact of its actions, while his aide Mikhailo Podolyak justified the incursion as a response to Russian aggression. In Germany, the deployment of German weapons in Russia has sparked debate, with some lawmakers supporting Ukraine's right to use donated weapons within international law. Meanwhile, Russian prosecutors have requested a 15-year jail sentence for ballerina Kenya Karolina, who was detained for donating to a pro-Ukraine charity. The gas transit station in Sudzha, Kursk, remains operational despite the conflict, crucial for Russian gas to Europe. Additionally, a Russian attack in Ukraine's Sumy region killed 2 people, highlighting the ongoing violence. The EU has called Ukraine's incursion legitimate self-defense, while former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev urged deeper advances into Ukraine. The White House seeks to understand Ukraine's objectives in this significant cross-border operation, with U.S. officials maintaining support for Ukraine's defensive actions. Ukraine also unveiled its first F-16 jets from NATO allies, while the diplomatic fallout continues with Niger cutting ties with Kyiv, which Ukraine called regrettable. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6DO team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6DO Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6DO team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6DO Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website. 6DO regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6DO Brief via email.
News breaks, buzz the ground, stories spit, walls come down, voices merge in the sound, faces mix in the crowd. Broadcasters paint the scene, world events on our screen, every link a different theme, words collide in the stream. 6 degrees connect the dots, background stories more than nuts. Hear the voices rise aloud, truth unveils in every spot. Cultures clash across the globe, spin the threads in a stroke. Every story wears a robe, truth and lies in their code. Journalistic reveal secrets that they don't see. Every angle they repeat, in the news we take a lead. New perspectives day by day, hidden truths come to play. In the background shades of gray, every story finds its way. Perspectives day by day, hidden truths come to finds its way.
Cultures. I go. What really or do not. What enough to be you. Everything and ever. What enough enough to what enough enough to what enough 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 enough